Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing some algebraic fractions and we're looking at the addition and subtraction of some algebraic fractions. Some quick notes for you to remember here. Where possible, you need to factorize. That's referring to your denominator. You need to factorize your denominator if you can. And as you know, because you've probably done these fractions before, if you're doing this harder video today, that if you want to add and subtract fractions, you need to have a common denominator before you can combine your fractions together to make one fraction. Okay, so in question 1, this is my easiest type of question. There's no factorizing here to be done. I need to get a common denominator. The easiest way to do that is to take these algebraic expressions here and just multiply them together. So that would be x plus 1, we put them in brackets, and x plus 5. Okay, we do that for both of them. X plus 1 and x plus 5. Okay, now, if you've done something to the denominator of a fraction, you have to also do that to the numerator, to the top of the fraction. So this first fraction, it had an x plus 1, but I've multiplied an x plus 5 to it. So I have to also do that to the top. So I multiplied the 2 by an x plus 5. This second fraction had an x plus 5. I've multiplied the x plus 1 in it, so I have to do that to the top. Okay, now that we have a common denominator, we can push the two fractions together. The denominator just stays the same, x plus 1 and x plus 5, and we just collect up our numerators. So as I'm doing that, I'm also going to expand these brackets. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 5 is 10. Now the second one, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, now we're almost finished. All we need to do here is just tidy up across the top. There's some like terms that can be collected. The denominator is not going to change, don't expand it, just leave it factorized. X plus 1 and x plus 5. 2x plus 3x is 5x, and 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, that's done. Now the next question is just a little bit more difficult. It is already factorized for us, but we need to find a common denominator. Now, you'll find with these fractions, you'll start writing the denominator particularly over and over and over again. So you may want to try and limit that by trying to combine some of these steps a bit. So what I'm going to do for this question is I'm going to make one fraction all in one go. So here's my one really big fraction. I need to find the common denominator. Now there's an x plus 7 that's in both of them. I don't need to write it twice. That's a common factor. I can just write it down once, x plus 7. But there is also an x minus 3 and an x plus 4 that I need to put in there. Okay, now looking at each fraction. This first fraction had the x plus 7 and x minus 3. The x plus 4 needs to come up the top with the 9. Then I have a minus sign. Then I have a 2, open bracket. I had the x plus 4, the x plus 7, so the x minus 3 needs to go in here. So that's already pushed my two fractions together. On the next line, I need to expand my brackets out. So the denominator is not going to change. We're just going to be writing that over and over again now. On the top, 9 times x is 9x, 9 times 4 is 36. Second one, be careful with minus signs. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 3 is a positive 6. And we have to rewrite it one more time so that we can collect up our like terms. So again, we're rewriting the denominator. Doesn't change, there it is. So 9x and minus 2x makes a 7x. 36 plus 6 goes together to make a 42. And there's the answer. Okay, question 3, this is our hardest type here. we need to factorise the denominators ourselves. So you can see that these are trinomials. They have the 3 terms. They're going to factorise to give into the 2 brackets. The x's go in the front. Then we're looking for 2 numbers that have to multiply to give -4 and adds to give a -3. That would be -4 and a +1. The 7's going to stay on the top. We're not changing anything there yet. We're just factorising. The second one, let's do the same thing. 2 stays on the top. It's also a trinomial. There's my 2 brackets. So x's go in the front. And I'm looking for 2 numbers that times to give a -2 and add to give a -1. -2 plus 1. So now let's combine these 2 fractions here. Let's find a common denominator. X plus 1 is in both of them. I have an x minus 4 in this first fraction and an x minus 2 in the second fraction. So this first one with the 7, the -4 and the +1 were already there. The x minus 2 needs to come up here with the 7. With the 2, I had the x minus 2, I had the x plus 1, so the x minus 4 needs to come up here. Now, the bottom's not going to change, we just need to expand the top. So rewriting the bottom, x plus 1, x minus 4, x minus 2. On the top, we just need to expand. 7 times x is 7x, minus 14. Minus 2, again, be careful with negative signs. Minus and a minus will make a +8. And one last time to rewrite it. X plus 1, x minus, whoops. Let me start that again. X minus 4 and x minus 2. Okay. And on the top, 7x minus 2x is 5x. And minus 14 plus 8 is minus 6. And there it is. Okay, on the next page, here is a few questions for you to try. They're just like the ones I have just done with you. So the first one, the nice easy one where you need to find your common denominator. So pause the video, try these questions, and then restart to see the answers. Okay, so the first thing you should have done is to multiply x plus 2 and x plus 1 together. Now this x needs to be multiplied with an x plus 1, and the minus 2 should have been multiplied with an x plus 2. Okay, then hopefully you expanded. So we actually have an x squared this time. X times x is x squared. Plus x times 1 is x. Minus 2x. And minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. Bottom's not going to change. And one more line here. We just need to collect up our like terms on the top. So that will give me x squared. Now that will be a x minus 2x is minus x and a minus 4. Okay, that one's finished. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, in question 2 you have already got a factorised denominator. So we just need to find a common denominator. We have a common factor of x minus 3, in both of them. I have an x plus 3 in the first one and an x plus 2 in the second one. The first fraction, I've multiplied the x plus 2 in, so it will need to come up here with the 5, minus, well, there's a 1 there, but you don't need to write it. The x plus 2 and the x minus 3 are already there. So I have an x plus 3 that needs to come up to the top. Then on the next line, expanding out, 5 times x is 5x, plus 10, expand the minus through, minus x minus 3. The denominator does not change. Okay, by the way, it doesn't matter the order that you write these in as long as the three things are there. And last of all, collecting up, 5x minus x is 4x. 10 minus 3 is a plus 7. And writing it again, x minus 3, x plus 3, x plus 2. Okay, last question. We need to factorize here. So this first fraction on the denominator, this is a difference of 2 squares. So we have two brackets, two sets of brackets. I square root x squared and get x. That goes in the front of both brackets. The square root of 16 is 4, which goes at the end of both brackets. One will be a positive, one will be a negative. The 8 is still sitting up here on the top. Plus the second one. Well, all I can do with that is take out a common factor. There is a factor of 2 and a factor of x in both of those terms. That would leave me with an x and a minus 4. On the top, I still have the 5. Okay, now for trying to find the common denominator. Now, the x minus 4 is in both of them. This one also has the x plus 4. And I have a 2x. Even though it's not in a bracket, it is still something that needs to go on the denominator in order to get a common denominator here. Alright, now let's work out what has to go on the top. The 8. Well, I had the x plus 4 and the x minus 4 already. So it's just the 2x I have to times that by. So let's just put that in a bracket for now. Plus the 5. I had the 2x, I had the x minus 4. So the x plus 4 needs to be multiplied here. Expanding the top, 8 times 2 is 16x. Expanding the second bracket, 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 4 is 20. And on the bottom, nothing changes. Just write it all down again. Okay, now let's look and see what we can collect up here. 16 plus 5x, they're both x terms, is 21x plus 20 over 2x, x minus 4, x plus 4. Alright, that's it. Hopefully you got those answers. This is the end of our little unit on algebraic fractions. Join me next time and we'll be starting a new topic. Bye for now.